click Campaign Builder. So if I click Campaign Builder, I get the Campaign Builder and it looks like this. You'll see right off the bat, contact, type here. If you have contacts in here and you start typing, it'll pull up. I just put an A and it pulls up everybody who's got an A in their name. If you're just starting and you don't have any contacts in here, you won't have anybody, so you want to add a new contact. I always put the acquired date as today's date that I put them in. Acquired from, that's your own naming convention. I just use self-referral for pretty much everything I put in here. And then you put in first name. So I'm going to put this into my wife and I. So I'm going to say Diane and Dale. So if you're putting in, there's multiple ways you can do this. There is a spouse, could be co-owner, co-investor, domestic partner. We just pick spouse. Don't know that that's necessarily politically correct, but that's what we used. If you're gonna, so there's a couple ways. You're either gonna use first name, last name, single email for one person. If you're gonna put in a spouse, they'd go down here by themselves, or a second person you're gonna email to. If it's a married couple or a couple, and they only have one email address and you wanna send it to both, then you put in Dale, spell out and put in the other person's name and then their last name. You put in the little and sign, it may not get translated in their email as an and sign, it'll go through as the code and it'll look silly to them. So just spell out and then email address. And then mobile phone, very important. If you have their mobile phone, to put in their mobile phone. I just put them in without anything. And then their home address, if you've got it, put it in. And then that's as far as you need to go. If you have their birthday, you can put it in. We don't have functionality assigned to this yet. There's a different way to do a birthday campaign. But if you haven't, you want to stick it in, feel free. People don't typically have home phones, but you want to make sure if you just have their mobile phone that you stick it in mobile phone, not where it says home phone or work phone. Make sure you put it in home, because there's some functionality with the system tied to this field or this for the mobile phone and what's in there. So if you have it, stick it in there, and then go down to the bottom, save and close. And I must have some version of that already in there. So I'm going to pull up me. You should have yourself already in there. Or sorry, if you put yourself in there for the first time, you should show up like this. And then we're going to now build the campaign from here. So listing status, active, closed, pending. Now remember, this is going to a homeowner. So active, closed, pending, days back closed 90. Click add, radius, pin drop. If you put an address in, this is going to say fill with contact address. Click that. It's going to drop their address in here, but it's also going to show a Google address. You want to click the Google address so that it'll change it, and it gives you this. It gives you a change option and a drop pin, or you can do a radius from 1/4 mile out to 3 miles. I've done thousands of campaigns at this point, and 99% of all campaigns are polygons. The radius is too big or not inclusive. It's too exclusive, but it includes too many properties that aren't relevant to the customer. So you want to use this pin drop or drop pin, and what that does, it locates the house directly in Google on the map. And from here, you want to select this button down here. And if you show up like this, just scroll down a little bit. you'll see this hand and draw a shape tool. That's a polygon tool. Click it. And as soon as you move your mouse up, you're going to get this crosshair. To move the map with your polygon tool in, you just hold your left click down and your mouse, hold it down and grab onto the map. It'll move around. Now I want to put a polygon in here. This is my contact's house, and I want to catch ingress egress routes from their house to the major cross streets. If you think about this a little bit, you know, this is a mile. So if I did a half mile, I'm right there is my half mile. So I'm gonna, if I did a half mile radius, I'm gonna cover properties that are on the other side of Priest Drive. I never go over here. Chances are somebody living here this is gated. People aren't going over there who live in this neighborhood. So I don't want to send them properties from over here, because we're not sending comps. We're sending instant listings and listings in their neighborhood that they see on a regular basis in how they live their life. We're not sending comps. So I don't want to include stuff on this side of Priest. I don't want to include stuff on Ray Road. And a half a mile is over here in the Ray Ranch Estates. I'm never going to see Kent Drive properties. So I don't want to be emailed those, and I don't want to email them to my customer, because my customer may be like, why is Dale sending me this? This is just spam, and they may unsubscribe. So we're being very efficient and effective with what we're sending. We're sending what they see in their neighborhood. So you want to zero this down into a polygon. So once you got the crosshair and you got your map where you want it, so you can come over here and zoom in and out. Left click and let go, and that puts a little circle. Move your mouse up to where you want to, you know, turn the corner, so to speak. Left click, let go. Move your mouse, left click, let go. Move your mouse, left click, let go. And then to close up the polygon, you want to go back to the original circle, click on it, and it'll put your polygon and change color. Okay. So I have my polygon search, campaign search, ready for them. Notice I'm not doing bedrooms, baths, price range, garage spaces. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sending active, closed, pending, days back 90 in their ingress egress routes. I don't want to filter anything else out, because they don't know whether it's a 4-bedroom or a 5-bedroom. They don't know what square footage is. That's why they go to Zillow, because they want to know all that stuff. They want to know the price. They don't know anything about the house, and it makes sense. So you don't want to filter anything out. You're just sending active, sold, pending, days back, closed, 90, polygon. And then for purposes of what we're doing, I'm going to click view search results. And I have 3 properties. They're all sold. Okay. There's nothing for sale, and they're all sold. Makes sense in today's market. And some of the searches, you're not going to see many properties. I don't want to go bigger to show more properties. That's just what's going on in my neighborhood. But somebody who lives here knows that, because they're not seeing any active for sale signs. So I also don't want to go look at these properties, because as soon as I go look at these properties, it bounces me off the campaign builder page and I have to start over. So honestly, we don't really care about these properties. We just want to make sure we have some, and don't go over 15 to 20 properties in a search. If you've gone that many, chances are your polygon's too big and you're covering too much area, and then you're venturing into sending stuff that's not relevant to them. Once you have that, you know, I often don't even look at searches. I know now from doing tons of these searches that, you know, when I look at this in the square mile, you know, I'm covering what I need to cover for what they're going to see doing their deal. Sometimes you got to get creative with, you know, somebody lives in here, there's multiple ways to get to their house, and you kind of have to interpret the map a bit. You also may know that, oh, it's somebody who owns a home that's got kids and they go to the park or they go to the school. You want to make sure you cover those routes also, because they'll be walking those routes and see listing signs also. So sometimes it takes a little bit of interpretation as to who you're doing the campaign for. So once you have this campaign title, you want to make sure that this is something that's readable to them. I use that contact street name bracket, and then I just put in monthly neighborhood real estate update. This is language they're going to see on the page that they come to when they hit your website. So they're going to see West Vera Lane, which is my address, monthly neighborhood real estate update. That's what they'll see. You guys will see that in a minute. So again, don't make this creative. Keep it kind of bland, but I always put something a little personal. Don't put their name there. That's a little creepy because now they see their name on your website and that might freak them out. But seeing their street name, you know, that shouldn't cause alarm. I haven't heard of anybody having alarm for that. Moving down, recurring. How often? Homeowners, once a month. Send now. Don't have to change this. Start date, don't need a start date. If you're sending now, the system defaults in today's date. Don't put in an end date. Don't need it. Don't worry about it because you don't want to stop it. Include instant updates, new listings, sold listings. You want to include both of these because homeowners notice when signs go down, and that's also time when they'll go look it up in Zillow if you haven't sent it to them. Default header, default signature, default footer. If you don't put any extra header, footer, signatures, and you've already edited this, you don't have to do anything. But I have a couple of different headers that I've done for classes and examples, so I could pick something else if I wanted to. But I'm just going to use default header. I also have, I just have one signature, and then I have an alternate footer. But in the footer, that's where your unsubscribe is. So you want to make sure if you make a separate footer, you want to make sure you keep the unsubscribe link in there so that they can unsubscribe from what you're sending them. Because if you don't give them a way to unsubscribe, then you're starting to dive into FCC rules and regulations and possibilities of having to pay a fine if somebody really complains. I don't know the rules from an attorney standpoint, so I can't tell you, do it or else, but highly recommend that you leave the unsubscribe in there. So next, email template, homeowner campaign. And once you see the homeowner campaign and you click it, it should preset or pre-fill in everything in the template that you edited in the admin email. From here, I'm ready to go. Contact first name. Here's your West Vera Lane monthly neighborhood update from Dale Stauffer. I can change this if I want. If I change it here, it only changes for this person. So this is a tendency where somebody might say, here's your neighborhood monthly update and thanks for coming to my party last Friday or something, right? You don't want to stick this in there because the point of this message is be timeless. So as much as you can, keep this message timeless. And then I fiddle around because I'm always tweaking to see what's better or worse. And often I take this out. So I'm going to send myself 2 campaigns. I'm going to send one this way. And then I'm going to take out the listings and alert links so you guys can see what it looks like. Save campaigns. So now I've just sent myself 2 campaigns exactly the same. They're the same campaigns. I've sent them twice. And then when I come over to my website, when I go to my email, here's the first one. Dale and Diane, here's your West Vera Lane monthly. And this is the one that contains the listings. So for you moms, happy Mother's Day. That's where that shows up. Here's my subject line, Dale, Diane. Oops. Dale and Diane, here's your West Vera Lane monthly neighborhood update from Dale Stauffer. And then there's my content. Please let me know if you have any questions below. I told them click view now. And then I can scroll down and see all homes in this list, they could click it again. So those are the three. Remember, there were only 3 properties, but let's see what it looks like. I'm going to click this in a second. But if I look at the other email, I took out that list. So now it's pretty direct to view the properties, click view now. So I kind of play with both. If you do take out the listings, like I did, the actual graphics, what that, it'll still send them in the instant updates. And the instant updates are usually 1 or 2 properties, and that's a quick communication. Hey, did you see? Or, you know, they want to see the price, and often that's all they want to see, or they want to know your bedrooms and the price or something like that. So they'll look at it, and then if they're interested in reading more about it, they'll click the link and come look at it. But you can see in your daily email that people have read it. You can also see if they came to the website or not. So you get notices of when they visit your site, and then on the daily report you get notices of who's read the emails and who's visited your site in the last 24 hours. So that's how you set up a campaign for the campaign builder. Now, if I go back to my email and I look at this and I just click view now, there's my search. They're on my website, West Fairlane Monthly Neighborhood Real Estate Updates. So it's personal to them. Oh, that's my street. So they can relate to it. They can identify with it. And then I can click show map, and that takes them into the polygon. It shows them, you know, I can modify it. I can, you know, there's things I can do with this from here. Okay. What you don't want to do as you're looking at the web, so you get this, you're going to get a notice that looks like this. So when you send out a campaign and they come to your website, you're going to get a notice, Dale and Diane just visited your website, and we're going to send you the link of the page they landed on. If you notice one that says save this, don't click it. You know that save this by attending this training, that this is a monthly campaign, or that this is a campaign. If you click this, you're going to get a cookie stuck in your browser that says that you're them. And you don't want to do that. If you do want to look at this for some reason, right click on it with your mouse, copy it, and open it up in a private window or an incognito window in your browser. What that does is it prevents cookies from getting stuck in your browser that makes you look like them. If you notice some weird activity going on, like you sent them something, then you go to your website and it looks like they've clicked on something immediately, but it only comes through as your web address, that's probably because you have a cookie stuck in your browser and you just need to delete the cookies in your browser, and that'll take care of that problem. At this point, I'm going to stop recording.